Hey everyone, it's Crystal here. So I'm really excited to expand my self-care series on something that I find that really resonates with me, that's really important to me, and it's to do with nature and why I feel nature is such a significant part of my life and how it resonates with me and how I use it to deal with my daily stressors and life as a whole. And this is just part of my coping toolkit. I use this as much as possible. And the reason why I use this is because I find I benefit so much from doing this, from being in nature, from immersing myself. And so, because I feel that, because I know that about myself, I constantly, as frequently as possible, try to go search for somewhere to go so I can immerse myself in a setting that I know helps me. So, I want to bring this forward to you. I want to share my experience. So, perhaps maybe you could take away something from this and find some place in your life for it, and maybe start with baby steps so you can get to whatever end goal that you're searching for, or start progressing yourself further. And for me, I would say I'm a seasoned outdoor enthusiast. I love being outside. I have been camping. I camp on Crown Land. I I try to do as rough as possible. And what my next goal is to do a backpacking trip. So that's minimal equipment, minimal food, minimal everything, minimal clothing, and just really rough it out there and go for a couple days and just see how I do and constantly expand that. So I'm stepping out of my typical zone and moving into another zone as I progress, but you always have to start somewhere. And for me, nature always really, it's non-judgmental. It's around us all the time, and I always find it funny that people don't even notice what's around them. And perhaps they're just wrapped up in their own life and whatever's going on around them, but nature is right around us all the time. And should we use it and seek it for our benefit and our overall well-being, it can really do some incredible things. And guess what? It's free. So you don't have to pay for it, unless of course you go to like a provincial park or somewhere that requires you to pay, like a garden or something. But for the most part, if you just did a little bit of searching, you'd probably find something in really close proximity to your house that is walkable, that you can get to really easily. So, for my own self, why does it resonate so much with me? And why do I find it so beneficial? When I'm in nature, when I escape into nature, and for me, I resonate with the forest. I love being in the forest. It makes me feel grounded. I feel tranquil. I feel at home. I feel at ease. I feel completely relaxed and in my element. That's where I belong. And I know that. I feel it in my heart and soul. But this is where I go into to do some de-stressing, to do some soul searching, to revive my spirit, to really be in tune with what's around me and be aware of what's going on with me and around me. And I can't do that in a city setting. I just can't. I try, but for the most part, I mean, it works, but I do deeper work when I'm in the setting that really suits me. And so for me, I try to find those places to go to explore and to bring adventure to my life, to also detach from what's going on around me and really find myself in a way where there's no external influences in and no judgments and nobody around me. It's really just me with myself and my thoughts. And at this time too, as you know, your thoughts race. They go a million miles a minute. And so at this point, I utilize my meditation skills to meditate within nature and really like bring some focus to what's around me and what's going on. And for me, I shut off all devices, I turn everything off. For the most part, I do bring my camera. So I have a Nikon. I love taking photos. I love photography. So I do engage with nature in that way by trying to capture the moment, try to capture the ambiance, the mood, even just really interesting features of wherever I am. And so I love doing that and engaging in that way. And I also started doing some videography. So I'm trying to refine my skills, but really that's the way I like to engage. And then when I'm not doing those things, then I turn it all off and I'm just there. I'm present. I'm with it. I just take in the natural beauty, all the nuances, the resiliency of nature, and just the incredible, brilliant capabilities that it has without even doing anything. Like, it doesn't even have to do anything, it just is wonderful. Where can you ever find something where less is more? Very few and far between. So for me, having that experience within nature really allows me to reset myself, restore myself, and find a way to revitalize, reset myself in a way where I can come back from it and keep on going really strong, keep on doing the things that I want to do, but be completely relieved of anything that I was carrying or holding on or any baggage. So for me, it really resonates deeply within me and is truly part of my spirit. And I know this because I've done so much work on myself, and I know what suits me and what doesn't suit me, or where I need to be and where I don't need to be. And so through all that searching, through all that soul searching, I know that when I go to the forest, I'm able to detach, I'm able to unwind, I'm able to restore myself, I'm able to discover myself, because I feel like I'm constantly, every time, learning more and more. And when you learn more and more, you can only get better, you can only improve things, and then come back full force. So I always purposely go to wild country if I can. Sometimes I do go to things that are a little bit more manicured, but I try to get as far as possible because I need to disassociate with society, disassociate with the world as a whole of all the craziness that's going on, and really just make my own world. And that's where I can create my own world. So, if you're just starting out on this journey of discovering nature, discovering the possibilities that Mother Nature can give you, that you can reap and benefit, that would be starting perhaps in a park. And maybe you're looking at doing something very minimal. So I always suggest taking baby steps. There's no need to go out there and start a 7-day hiking backpack kind of adventure at this point. Just take it slow and take some baby steps and really work yourself up to getting to that point of maybe getting there one day. But it doesn't have to be that extreme. It could just be around you. And maybe it's just going around your block, going around your neighborhood, walking around there. Maybe that's enough for you to start off with. And then maybe you can progress it to going to a park. Maybe there's a park in close proximity that you can go for a long walk, take it in, and really, enjoy yourself in that kind of setting. Sure, there's going to be more people and more activity going on in a park, but at least it gets you outside and you start experiencing and exposing yourself to what's out there. And when you're in these settings, when you're in nature, I just want you to bring all your senses forward. Be aware of your senses, your sight, your smell, your hearing, and really be in tune with what you feel, what you're thinking, and allow yourself, without any judgment, to just be aware of what's going on within you, what your thoughts are, how you feel in this environment. Really bring some intention to what this is bringing to you, what you're doing, and really think about how you can use your eyes to bring some relaxation by looking around, by observing, by seeing things perhaps you've never seen before, or really maybe seeing things that you've always seen before, but look at them differently with a different sense. And maybe you use your hearing and you hear noises that you've never heard before. Maybe some birds are chirping that you've never heard, or maybe there's some leaves rustling, or whatever that may be, a river flowing by close by. And then you bring your whole sense of smell. And that's why I love being outside. I love being in the forest, especially because the air is so different. It's pure, it's invigorating, it revitalizes me. So, really taking some intentional breaths. And when you take intentional breaths, it can really actually stop your mind from thinking so much. So as you breathe in and exhale, you can create this rhythmic breathing within nature and really allow yourself to take some good breaths with some great clean air and really stop that cycle of stressful thoughts, stressful pressure that's in your mind, and really break free of that and allow you to totally immerse in the environment that you're in. And then what you're feeling. So, all these things that are happening around you, how do you feel about it? How does it feel with whatever's under you? Perhaps it's just raw earth or concrete or pavement because you're in a park, or maybe you're on the grass. Like, how do those sensations feel? And how do you feel overall with the senses that you're using and the environment that you're in? How does that make you feel overall, mentally, emotionally, and physically? And take it all in. Be connected with what you do. And when you are connected with what you do, it'll bring you a totally different experience. You're going to experience this not just like a walk in the park, but this is going to be a walk in the park where you will start benefiting from these walks, not only physically by getting some movement and exercise in your life, but on a mental level as well. So you can start using this as part of a coping tool, a coping routine in your life. And what's not better than getting outside and just carefree, hitting the pavement and going for it, just enjoying what's around you without having to carry your wallet, without having to carry money, shopping bags, whatever the case may be inside in a building with fluorescent lights and whatever. You're really in a space where less is truly more. And of course, if you're new to this, perhaps you want to bring some products to rehydrate you. So I bring water with electrolytes to just keep me going, keep me fueled. I bring snacks with me. So maybe that's a fruit or some granola. And if you don't know me by now, I make everything from scratch. So I make my granola bars from scratch. I make all my snacks from scratch. So I do that all from scratch. And for me, that's just the way I eat. That's the level of extremities that I go to. But to me, it's pleasurable. So it doesn't cause me stress at all. Actually, it makes me feel better because I know what I'm putting into my body and I'm choosing to put those things into my body. So I know it's fueling me in the right ways. So, really take some accountability on making sure that you have the proper food, you have the proper water, you have the proper clothing as well. Your attire plays such a huge role when you're in the environment. And maybe people don't really realize this on the onset, but with experience, you start learning more. And this is all like what I've gone through too. So, I just want to share this with you because it's all about trial and error. There's no right or wrong way. But to save you from having to figure that out for yourself, I'll share it with you. But making sure you wear the right type of clothes, right type of shoes, dress for the weather, dress for the day, because there's nothing worse than not being properly dressed and then being out there and not enjoying it because you're so focused on the fact that you're cold or you're wet or your shoes are uncomfortable or whatever the case may be. So always make sure you're going with the right attire. When I, backwood it, I wear all long sleeve clothes. I don't wear shorts. I know that there's probably poison ivy or wild parsnips or something. And I just want to not allow ticks to bite me, or I like to keep myself safe where I can if I can. So I will avoid wearing anything that my skin is exposed and make sure I'm dressed appropriately. And shoes, like your footwear is so important. And I've worked in the shoe industry for a really long time when I was younger. So like I have a secret shoe fetish, but for me I love shoes. And so I always choose shoes that would fit me very well. Not just look good, but fit me well. And so there's a couple great shoes out there that are good for walking, for hiking, but I even need to upgrade now to a different type of shoe. Like I've had running shoes now for a really long time. I use ones that can accommodate my feet, that feel good on my feet. And for me, because of the type of exploration I do, I need shoes that have a reinforced toe because I keep stubbing my toes on rocks because I'm always walking in a place where it's on the Canadian Shield. There's tons of rocks everywhere. And when you're backwooding it, when you're rugged walking out there, you need to protect yourself, or else you're not going to enjoy yourself. You're going to injure yourself, and it's going to be really painful. So I need that kind of shoe for what I do. But for you, just start off with a very comfortable shoe that works for you. And of course, any type of headgear, whatever you need to protect yourself from any foliage that may fall, or maybe there's a lot of sun and you don't want to get sunburnt. I always make sure I'm wearing a baseball cap, but I don't wear sunglasses because your eyes take in the vitamin D. I think sunglasses, although they look nice and I do own them, I choose not to wear them frequently because our eyes take in the vitamin D. Without vitamin D, our immunity and our whole self suffers. So, why would you put on glasses that block it out? Worse invention, but they look really good. But I do have the pair. And when I go fishing, or sometimes when I'm outdoors for a long period of time, I do bring them along because I have polarized glasses. And so I get a better view in the water, or I can take a break from the sun. So pack intentionally, pack thinking about what you need, but also you don't need to bring like your suitcase with you. Just bring what's necessary. And so you'll start figuring that out as you get better at this, as you practice, as you keep doing it more and more. You'll get better at this, but it's just where to start. And this is just a starting place for you. As you progress, you'll definitely know what you need to bring. But you'll start seeing that when you equip yourself, you don't think about these things when you're in nature. You're just enjoying where you are. You're just being with yourself. You're being one with nature. And it can be such a revitalizing thing because we come from nature and we're a part of nature. We're not separate from it. Totally immersed in it. Just because we live in a city and we have a car and we have a house, or we live in a building or work in buildings, it doesn't separate us from nature. We're fully integrated. So you're already fully integrated in that sense. Why not bring it into a different sense where you could be integrated with it in a different way? So search for some places that are around you. And for me, I just love it because everywhere is always spectacular. It always has its own natural beauty, its own thing to offer me. And it's offering me just itself without changing it. And it's incredible that it's such a honor that I could be within this space, be able to witness it, be allowed to go into them, and be able to share without leaving a huge footprint behind. I don't pack with tons of waste or garbage. I use all reusable things. I try not to do any type of damage to the natural space that I'm in. I leave very little human trace behind. And I think that's the way it should be. Why not? We already do all these things to our environment in the city or in a suburb. Why do more damage when you're supposed to be integrated and be one? Just like animals are one with nature, they're not there to damage the trees or take away. They use things. It's their space. This is their habitat. This is their domain. So be one with it because they don't leave the garbage behind. They don't do any of those things. They take pride in the fact that they have this freedom to be within this environment. And we should take that same attitude too when we're going into nature. And that's why I love it because it really challenges me to take this to the next level of just what I need in life, how I operate in life, and really come to terms with reality and my human existence on this earth and what is and what isn't required for my own state of happiness. So I do a lot of soul searching, a lot of spirit awakening within the forest for my own self. And that's just developed through time. I didn't know it at first, but it just started working itself in. So that's why I'm encouraging you to start small, start in a park and bring that awareness, bring all your sensories to the game, and then start expanding as you get better, as you start getting more curious about what's out there. There's so many incredible places out there. And I've been to so many places where there's not a human in sight. Isn't that crazy? There's millions, billions of people on this earth, and I would not see one person. I love it. It's where I want to be. So I hope you can consider that nature could be such a wondrous, revitalizing part of life. It can bring so many great things to you. And I'm sharing some of these tips just to help you as a part of your self-care routine. I know I use it as much as possible. I try to do it as as frequently as I can. I always bother my husband because I want to go as often as possible. So now that I have a dog, it gives me even more excuse to go for walks and hikes. So we do research. It's so fun. It's fun for us. We do research, look for somewhere to go, and we just go. And we don't know what's going to happen when we show up, but we show up and we deal with whatever's coming our way. And that means, yeah, having like a little pocket tool. We have that just in case. There's some things that you'll start learning that you know you need to have in case of an emergency. First aid kit's always good. It doesn't have to be extensive, guys. Not like the one that you hang on the wall, just like a little pocket kit. Like something in case anything were to happen and you're stranded out there and have no resources around. So just really bringing that level of responsibility for your own self, but not going like next level helicopter parent style, just basics, bare essentials. And really being immersed in nature can really help you come in tune with it, be in tune with it, notice more things about it, and then you'll start growing and noticing things about yourself. And sometimes the whole quietness, the sounds within nature can really just take you away from all the stress, all the thoughts, all the problems, all the chaos of everyday, day to day life, and really give you that opportunity to discover yourself, to start aligning with yourself, to ground yourself. And that's what I love the most is every time I go there, I'm able to just start piecing things together one piece at a time. And it's a constant thing. It doesn't just happen in one trip where, oh yeah, I figured it all out. I'm who I am. I know who I am. It's work. This is self-development. This is self-improvement. This is a journey that you want to go on because you've chosen to do some healing work, you've chosen to do some discovery work, and you've really chosen to start upgrading yourself and take control of your life in a way where You can make the decisions for how you are affected by life and the way you move through life. And that's a decision all up onto your own. Like you have to make that choice. You have to make that decision on the fact that you will take control of your life. You will not allow someone else to dictate how you live your life, what you do in your life, how you feel in life. And you really can take back control of all of that. And when you are able to, you can step into your best form, the true, real version of yourself. You can reconnect with that version of yourself that maybe you lost a while ago through whatever means that may have happened. And it does happen. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I don't want to just spiel off things that I don't know about or I just do some research about. Like I'm speaking from experience. So knowing that this is something that I use that resonates highly with me, that really is something that's available to all of us. It's really liberating to be able to share that with you, but also encompass this in my life, like also have this as part of my routine. This is my ritual for how I take care of myself and how I keep growing. Like life is constantly moving and we're constantly learning. And if you're not learning, then you're not moving. So this is all part of growing, of life changing, life expanding, life going on. And it's just the way I want to live life as I age, as I grow, as time goes on. This is the way I find is truly beneficial so I can get the most out of life and really feel good in this world and not expect someone to do that for me. It's my job and it's your job too. So if you can find some meaningful passage through going into nature, engaging in it, being one with it, and just immersing in it, it can do you some really great things and show you some really wonderful things about yourself that maybe you never knew about. Maybe you never just gave yourself a chance to discover. And it can really bring you back to a place where you can start developing the life that you want to live. You can start being the person that you want to be. And you can start just being letting less be more. So I'm going to share, well, I have been sharing some footage that are from some of the trips and some pictures. I hope you enjoy them. I got a hard drive full of them, which is really embarrassing, but I mean, I don't really share them with anyone. I just keep them for myself and I print them. I do paintings of them. I have them on my wall. I'm trying to create this thing with them, but it's kind of a work in progress with everything else. But I have the intention and it's there. So whatever will come will be. But I hope you're able to get some value out of this today. Hope you're able to find value in this quick, simple self-care thing that can be incorporated into your life as part of your coping tools for stress so you can avoid burnout. And I look forward to sharing some more great information with you very shortly. All right, I'll see you very soon. Take care.